About 7 or 8 minutes away from another $1,000, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. So make sure you're listening closely for every one of these keywords. About 30 past every hour, you got a shot this week and next. Your last handful of days to get some of this money, so be thinking about that. Your Guardians are off tonight. They're coming off that series in Pittsburgh. They'll be back here at home tomorrow to host the Phillies. They'll stick around to bring the Royals into town beginning of next week. But Guardians-Phillies tomorrow night is going to be a 7:10 first pitch right around the corner at Progressive Field. I'm not sure if tomorrow night is sold out. I think Saturday and Sunday's games are sold out. They're doing the fireworks. They're doing the Stephen Kwan bobblehead, the whole bit. But tomorrow night it's going to be 7:10 first pitch here on WMMS. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio, on the app, tell me where you do it. If it's out of state, some new listeners around the country. Moop listens in Severna Park, Maryland. Greg is in Collinsville, Illinois. Marty listens in Palm City, Florida. And Dave is a new listener in Rogersville, Alabama. Somebody DM'd me on Instagram. Alan, your man crush has got a movie coming out. You know, I have a big crush on David Duchovny. Anybody who's really smart, pretty funny, bone-dry sense of humor. Those are my kind of people. And they got David Duchovny headline in this Pet Sematary prequel. Have you seen the trailer for that?
No.
I think it's going to be on, I don't think it's getting a theatrical release. I think it's a Paramount Plus thing, but it's called Pet Sematary Bloodlines. And I think he's supposed to be the Fred Gwynn character as a younger man, I think. But I'm a big David Duchovny fan. He hasn't done the show in many, many years. But the last time he did the show, by the end of the interview, we ended up engaged.
Aww.
So I'll tell you what, there wasn't a lot of fanfare, and we never consummated. But it was a good time. So glad to know that people are keeping that in mind. When I was a kid, my mom loved the show Entertainment Tonight. I don't know if this show is still on. There's a current glut of those kinds of entertainment shows. There's Extra, there's Access Hollywood.
Extra.
Right.
I forgot about that.
Right, because it was like Billy Bush, it's like Mario Lopez, But the OG back in the day was Entertainment Tonight. It might still be a show. There was a guy named Rob Weller who used to host it, and I only knew him because he was a local news anchor in Chicago when I was a kid, and then he got the call, goes to the big show, this syndicated entertainment show. Because, when you want to make it, that's the compromise you're willing to make. You go from being a news anchor to a guy doing a fluffy entertainment show, but it's syndicated. Everybody's going to see you. And they had Mary Hart and they had John Tesh back in the day. But they're...
Dave Tesh?
What's that?
Any Dave Tesh sightings?
Who's Dave Tesh?
His brother. They wrote Round Ball Rock together.
Ah!
Basketball. Gimme the ball.
Oh, from SNL.
I'm gonna dunk it.
Right. John Tesh and Dave Tesh.
Mm-hmm.
That was who? Forte and who else was in that sketch? Will Forte and somebody else. Funny, though. Anywho, John Tesh, right. A musician in his own right. He wrote Round Ball Rock. He did the music for the Tour de France for many, many years. Anywho, their main, every one of these entertainment shows had to have a film critic. Today's Show had a guy named Gene Shalit for a long time who was caricatured because he had a big bushy mustache. And Entertainment Tonight had this crusty git named Leonard Maltin, who I didn't even think Leonard Maltin was still alive. And I don't know what he does now. He's written books on movies because if you're like a TV critic or whatever, you just write books about movies. That's what Ebert did and Gene Siskel and those guys. But watching Entertainment Tonight with my mom, they'd always go to Leonard Maltin, who was a guy who would tell you if the movie was good or not. And even though I didn't know that Leonard Maltin was still around, still prominent, he's alive. He's 72 years old. So he was a young man when he was on Entertainment Tonight back in the day. But he is essentially echoing what our own Bill Squire said yesterday on this program about how Oppenheimer, which is garnering nearly universal praise from most critics, our own Bill Squire and now Leonard Maltin are saying that Oppenheimer isn't nearly living up to the hype. So are you in good company?
I think.
Did you know that Leonard Maltin was a thing still? LeonardMaltin.com is where he's doing most of his work.
Yeah, so I saw his review. I just happened upon it, and I was like, wait a second. He's saying all the things I'm saying, but then he still has a fresh review on there. I'm like, how is this a fresh review if he's saying it's not that good?
What do you mean a fresh review?
Like there's a tomato or a splat.
Yeah.
And so next to his is a splat. So I'm just calling into question the whole Rotten Tomatoes system. It just doesn't seem
Did you Google
all that accurate.
Did you Google to see if anybody was on your side? Did you Google Oppenheimer sucks or
No,
Oppenheimer's not good?
I went to Rotten Tomatoes and his was like one of the top things.
I see what you mean. His review on Rotten Tomatoes was a positive one.
Was fresh,
right?
But then when you read it, it doesn't seem like it'd be fresh.
Well, because you really didn't like the movie. Yeah. His just seems to be, his headline on his website is Oppenheimer is a traditional biopic.
Right.
So it sounds like he's just not enthused with it, but you thought it was a bad movie. You gave it 1 out of 5.
I gave it 1 out of 5. Yeah. I mean, I'm also being very dramatic, but
no, not you, not never.
I can be. I know normally you're like,
Bill is not willing to lead anyone down the primrose path when it comes to theatrical releases.
I usually just think things are either fun or they're not, and I didn't have fun at Oppenheimer.
Is it supposed to be fun?
Not really, but it's not. But like, I can have fun seeing a movie that is serious.
You didn't have fun at the movie about the father of the atomic bomb.
That's what I mean. I think maybe you see so many Marvel movies and comic book movies that you're expecting that level of those movies are made.
No, because like a thing like Uncut Gems or
Uncut Gems was not a fun movie.
But I had fun watching it.
That was a panic attack from minute 1 to minute 200.
What I mean is fun. It's like, yeah, because you get into the movie. So if a movie draws you in, I never got drawn in to Oppenheimer because every time things started getting interesting, you hear this boom, and you can't hear what they're saying anymore.
So it's style over substance.
Yeah, I thought it was way more stylish than it was substance. And Leonard Maltin's talking about he shot this on IMAX, but doesn't really need to be on IMAX. It's really just a standard biopic where they're sitting in rooms talking to each other.
Leonard Maltin says
people are acting like Christopher Nolan reinvented film, and it's just okay.
Leonard Maltin says, does all this warrant 3 bladder-challenging hours of running time? I mean, he is 72.
Mm-hmm.
The answer, not surprisingly, is no. I'm not sure why IMAX was the filmmaker's choice for the subject, aside from the fact that he likes the supersized format. The majority of the picture is told in close-ups and medium shots.
That's what I was expressing.
Right.
Where we were sold, you got to see this in IMAX. By the way, when we started this conversation, you know how there's all these flies flying around in the building?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just caught one and killed it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You're not an
Yeah.
I did. I got the carcass over
I asked
here.
if I could hang fly paper in here.
There's fly paper in the kitchen.
Something happened because
something's dead somewhere.
We're on the ground floor here, and so we've always had a couple of things flying around, but over the past week, it's been flies everywhere. Like there's something friggin' buried in the walls or something.
Well, this is how horror movies start. Flies start appearing out of nowhere, and they're usually a bad omen, and then they start coming out of people's mouths and stuff. And
like Candyman.
I'm just saying.
Maybe that guy that was punching
that bees?
Bees, yes, because of the honey and the candy.
Bees.
But maybe the guy that I was talking about at the top of the show punching his head, maybe he had flies in his head.
Flies
and
in his head.
That's
classic flies in the head.
Flies in the head.
Bees in the car! Bees everywhere! God, they're huge! They're ripping my flesh off!
Bees.
Listen, if they were bees in here, what?
Wicker Man. Do you have that one?
Oh, no, not the bees!
Nick Cage.
Not the bees! Ah! Oh, my eyes! My eyes!
Bees.
Nick Cage should have played Oppenheimer.
I like how in The Wicker Man there, in that scene, Nick Cage felt compelled to do exposition on bees getting in his eyes and face, which they're covering his head.
Yeah.
He still has to tell you They're getting into my eyes.
Mm.
But listen, even if we were overrun with bees here, at least I'd be getting my ass pollinated. At least I'd be doing something positive for the environment. These flies, I don't know what the hell is going on. So at this point, I hope they do find something horrible.
Dead.
Well, it'd be great. Just something dismal and, yeah. Let me give you $1,000 here. That'll wipe all these bad memories from your brain. It's courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. Get $1,000 in your pocket. I hope you win. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
If you listen to us on the app, you can leave messages there. You can also drop us voicemails. The Alan Cox Show After Hours line is 216-986-8903.
Hey, Alan. Just woke up from a nap, like a really nice 3-hour-long nap, and I was having a dream, actually, that I was listening to a segment of the show. So I don't know, maybe this is a call for help, but it was some convoluted segment where Poundcake was rolling Mary around like a wheelbarrow, and she was dinging your bell over and over, and I seriously woke myself up from laughing hysterically. So I don't know if anybody's ever done that before, but it's really weird. Would not recommend. Hate the show. Love you guys. Bye.
A 3-hour nap. He's getting up at... Now, I don't know what his work schedule's like, but
Love
this
me a
guy's
3-hour
2:30.
nap.
He's getting up from a 3-hour
I
nap.
love
I've
that
had
too.
a 3-hour nap.
You what?
I've had a 3-hour nap.
Not in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
That's
On the
when
weekend,
naps
yeah,
happen.
that's
Not in the
That's
middle
when
of a
you be
weekday.
napping. If I have time,
If I had a
if
day
I-
off,
yeah, if I'm
yeah.
off.
Like
That's
tomorrow when we're off.
Monday
nap
when I
from
wasn't
noon
feeling
to
good?
3.
I napped pretty good on Monday. Tomorrow, yeah, got the day off. I'm gonna hit the gym,
And hit a
then
nap.
do some organizing. I got some new shoe storage I'm gonna put together, and then after that, a nap, and then Bare Naked Ladies, the band, the
I was
cool
gonna ask.
kind,
I was going to ask
the cool
because
kind.
that's right. All you need to know about Bare Naked Ladies, here's the best part of the show.
It's been...
No, sir, you are not. It's not unprecedented. We get a lot of calls and messages from people who have dreams about the show.
Hi, Alan. You guys are talking about dreams right now, and I was reminded that I recently had a dream about you. I ran into you in a hallway, and you grabbed my butt, and that's all I remember. No other details remain. But anyway, felt like I wanted to let you know.
Yeah, you did.
You're a predator, dude.
Listen, man, when it comes to dream, Alan, it's all grab ass.
Speaking of Predator, Andy Dick was at East End last night.
Oh.
So weird.
A smoother
weird.
transition we could not have written. Yeah, why is Andy Dick in town? Andy, if you're just bumming around, come on the show.
Come hang out.
He
I
was,
mean, I
he was on my show like 15 years ago, except I got him in that small space where he was sober. And he was nice, but he was a lot less fun.
Well, he's definitely not sober right now.
Right.
He was ripping shots, and I don't know why he's in
Was
town.
he being
but
like, hey, I'm Andy Dick? Like, what was the vibe?
he was just very drunk. He was hanging out with some dude that's just lives over in Lakewood.
Wow.
And they were just at the bar. And
They
he
making
had
out?
no idea that there was a comedy show going on out on the patio. He didn't really
Where is
seem to
East End
care.
again?
East
It's
End's
in-
over in Lakewood on
It's in
Madison.
Lakewood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some people saw him at Taste of Tremont on Sunday. I saw pictures of him over there.
So he's been here for
He's just
a
hanging
while.
out.
yeah, he's just he's on a bit of a bender.
Smells like the devil pinched off a loaf in here.
That's Andy Dick.
Yep. Ooh, the people on the live stream are saying that I caught that fly on camera, so I'm gonna find that.
No, you didn't.
Why would they lie to him about that? Now, did you do it with chopsticks?
No, I don't have chopsticks with me.
You
I
left him-
pooped my pants. I ate too much corn.
you left him at home today.
Listen, I'm just asking because those are interesting things to know. So Andy Dick, but nobody was like, hey, man, want to go up and blah, blah, blah?
No, I was specifically asking people not to inform him that I didn't want him to perform.
Why?
Could he be in town for
'Cause
some
he's
kind
of a terrible person.
Could he be in town for a court date? Didn't he get in trouble
Maybe.
in Cleveland some time ago?
Perhaps.
But I would imagine that if you were doing that, now granted, Andy Dick is not a guy who seems to have a lot of guardrails. So might seem naive to say if you were in town for something like that, you might play it straight while you're here, so as not to stack any potential charges. But Alan, maybe the restaurant's trash chute is clogged. They're on the ground floor, homie. There is no trash chute over there. That's why they're dragging giant bags of garbage through the hallway.
Did you see the other day, it was like Monday or Tuesday of this week, that they just wheeled out their nasty, disgusting trash can that had food in it and left it in the hallway for 2 hours?
I didn't see that.
It was full of what I am hoping was rice and not maggots, but every time I walked past it, I wanted to throw up.
But there's always like juice tracks down the hallway from them pulling garbage bags down to the freight dock or whatever.
State-of-the-art studios. Everything costs $10 million.
Well, no, the studios are great.
I know that, but they put them in a...
There's no trash chute unless it's coming from up, it's residential upstairs. Maybe there's something with the residential trash chute. But again, I don't know why that would mean that we had so many flies here in our suite. Yeah. There are only 2 doors to get in here. There's the front door, which almost nobody comes through. So
which is like an airlock.
It's like an airlock. So because there's 2 locked doors there, you need to know somebody to get in or have a key card or whatever. So everyone who works here comes in the back door,
which is the same door that we share with the restaurant.
Goes into the hallway.
But I don't think they're coming in through the doors. I think they're coming in. The flies are coming in through the air ducts.
Through the possessed people's mouths. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
You might be onto something.
I know what I'm onto. I watch enough horror movies. I read enough figure mounts. Flies are never, ever a good omen. Ever.
What is a good omen?
Money, sunshine, rainbows.
Money's the root of all evil. How can it be a good
Money,
omen?
sunshine, and rainbows are good omens.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Including, but not limited to. Alan, I saw Bare Naked Ladies open for Hootie a few years ago, and they sucked so bad, I almost left the show. Glad I stayed for the headliner.
Okay, I love him, so
yeah,
I'm
Bill
gonna have
likes
a good
him.
time.
I mean, again,
I'm surprised that you like Hootie but don't like Bare Naked Ladies, but I love Bare Naked Ladies.
Well, that's why I'm taking that text with a grain of salt. Because
I don't take anybody. This is the thing too. Like
you did buy a ticket for Hootie and the Blowfish,
right?
So
it's like when people are coming at me for the Oppenheimer thing, and they're like, people are mad at me. Like angry.
Why?
Because people are psychos.
What are they? They invest in the money. They didn't crowdfund the movie, and you're out some dough.
They're like, why don't you make a better movie? I'm like, give me $100 million.
Right.
I will.
I'm not a filmmaker.
I'll make you the best Oppenheimer you've ever seen.
And Christopher Nolan's making movies for us. He's not showing them in his house. Mm-hmm. He's making them for us.
Right. And what does me not liking it? It doesn't mean you're not gonna like it.
Right.
A lot of people like it.
Right.
I just didn't. If you didn't like the Bare Naked Ladies, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna have a fun time.
See, I'm getting the opposite from my rant yesterday, where being out $400, everyone's like, "Ha ha, stupid bitch, got what you deserved."
Oh, are people giving you a hard time?
Yeah. Just people who just are, what are you, an idiot? Why would you even buy those tickets to begin with?
But again, it's how does that affect their lives?
It doesn't.
If you're out $400, why does that make another person mad?
And you're not out $400. You got stuff for the $400.
I got stuff.
Right. It was just
saw
crappy
the show.
Stuff.
I'm out $200.
Yeah.
I feel like I had $200 worth of fun.
You didn't get what you expected.
Yeah.
How much is that about what the seats would have cost without the VIP package?
Yeah, because there was the pit and then the boxes. And then I was in the very next row. I was only about 10, 12 rows back from the stage.
Boxes is the girls only seat.
Boxes are girls only, and also for season ticket holders. But I was like as close as you could get for the price. It was like, I think the tickets were like $170 or something to sit where I was sitting without any extra fluff or whatever. So yes, I'm out $230 on VIP trash. But I got a great show.
You got money and rainbow.